from Stifel Nicholas.
Good morning, McGraw from 550.
All right, let's. Yesterday was bad. It got a little better. What was the story of the day yesterday?
A little better. The Dow Jones average, which was down at 1.400 points, closed down 287 points at a final number of 24,700. This moves the Dow average all the way back to where we started the year, January 1. The S&P is actually up about 3% year to date. And even more impressive, the Russell 2000, which closed up yesterday, is up over 10% year to date.
So the Dow is down for the year. The Russell is up and the S&P is up.
Correct. Yeah, S&P is up about 3%. Dow is flat. You could say down 0.1%, but call it flat at this level.
Sure.
And the Russell 2000 is up over 10%.
Wow, that's interesting. All right.
It shows you the impact of the tax bill on the smaller and mid-sized companies and how that's being viewed.
Right. Yeah. And then I guess how the tariffs are affecting the biggies in the Dow, I guess.
Oh, exactly. I mean, Boeing was down huge yesterday. Caterpillar was the second biggest drop of the Dow 30. And so, yes, those are the companies dealing globally, and those are the companies dealing most heavily with China.
Yeah. Speaking of the Dow, a bit of a historic day with, are you talking about General Electric?
Exactly. So the big, iconic General Electric, at one point in the 80s and the 90s, the most valuable company in the world, is just announced yesterday afternoon is being removed from the Dow next week. So June 26th, it goes out of the Dow 30 average and is replaced by Walgreens. So GE out, Walgreens in.
You know, it's for you as a money guy, as a market guy, right? I mean, that's got to be unbelievable for somebody like you.
It's nice. And, the purpose of the Dow is to reflect the U.S. economy. So what is growing in the U.S. economy? Healthcare and retail. Walgreens fits that.
Right.
What's not growing in the U.S. economy? GE.
Right.
And so it's adjusted. GE, by the way, was the only original member of the Dow that was implemented today.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like, imagine 20 years from now, somebody saying Apple is, being delisted or something. I mean, that's...
Well, along that line, just in the last 10, 12 years, moved out of the Dow, Sears, Kodak, Alcoa, General Motors, AT&T, and Bank America. And of that list, Bank America is up very nicely. Everybody else is lower than the date they were removed.
Yeah. General Electric, right, got started by a little inventor known as Thomas Edison. So it's, it's a pretty historic and iconic company. And right, I mean, Jack Welch in the 80s, right? He was the celebrity CEO. So,
he still has celebrity status this many years after leaving the company.
Yeah. All right, we can talk about GE some more later. What about FedEx? What do they say?
Well, they reported earnings after the market closed yesterday. I know everybody was focusing on the GE news, but they reported earnings, $5.91 per share for the quarter. They beat estimates by 23 cents. They beat revenue, and they're predicting the next 12 months their revenue to grow about 9%. U.S. economy is growing 3%. Their revenue is growing 9%. And again, it reflects on what the economy is doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, Amazon's got to ship it, and someone's got to ship it for Amazon. So FedEx is one of those companies. Markets today, Duane Thomas.
Right now, the market looks like it's going to be up about 90 points, so recovering some of what took place. Just this morning, Germany proposed to the EU to drop the 10% tariff on U.S. cars. So that hasn't been gone through yet. That's just Germany proposing to the EU to drop the 10% tariff. So that's a big deal for U.S. auto companies.
Wow, that's a really big deal.
Exactly.
That could be right. I mean, while China is raising tariffs, Germany wants to lower tariffs. Wow, Wow, that could be some really big news. All right, we'll watch that throughout the day. Duane Thomas, have yourself a good day, and thanks for checking in.
Sounds great.